It's Brian from Team Collective Effort, and I've got an idea for brewing in the new Pioneer format. So earlier this week, Wizards of the Coast announced Pioneer going back to Return to Ravnica, original Return to Ravnica block on Forward. And so I thought, hey, this would be a cool chance to go back to, say, Shadows over Innistrad and kind of revisit some of the cards that I liked from there that just didn't quite make it in Modern. So today I think what I've got for you is a blue and red deck, which, you know, if you've been listening to our Day 3 podcast, probably shouldn't surprise anybody that I'm brewing up a blue and a red deck. I've got a blue and a red deck that is kind of working on the Owling Mine concept. Owling Mine being a tier low deck in Modern that punishes opponents for having too many cards in their hands, based on the card from, I think, Kamigawa, Ebony Owl Netsuke, that deals damage based on opponents having more than 4 cards in hand. So that's not legal, obviously, in Pioneer. It's a little bit too old, but we do have a couple cards from Shadows over Innistrad. I think we're going to try to get a Kefnet the Mindful in there and some other kind of force feed kind of bounce effects, and we're going to go from there. Probably end up maybe with a couple of the Draw 2 archetype from Eldraine. We'll see where that all fits in. First and foremost, our win condition here. Fevered Visions. Beginning of each player's end step, player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, Fevered Visions deals 2 to that player. So everybody draws, but only your opponent takes damage off of this. We want 4. I think our second game winner here, it's going to be Kefnet the Mindful. He wants you to have a full hand, which Fevered Visions definitely helps with. There's a 5/5 flying indestructible for 3. That's 2 and a blue. And he can help you draw cards with his activated ability. So really undercosted, overstated if you can get him to be able to attack and block. So now we're in blue and red. We probably want Dictate of Krufix. Kind of a Howling Mine effect, but you can flash it in, and it just allows everybody to draw an additional card on their draw step. So we'll put 4 in here. So we're at 12 right now. I think probably we're in blue and red. I think we want a Keranos. I think we'll start with 3. Keranos being the blue and red god from Theros block. I don't think we'll ever really turn him into a creature and be swinging with him, but his static ability is actually pretty good too. It is when you reveal the first card you draw on each of your turns. Whenever you reveal a land this way, draw another card. Whenever you reveal a non-land this way, Keranos deals 3 damage to any target. So he's either drawing you 2 cards, or he's going to be a lightning bolt. A lightning strike. Keranos art is the best art for the lightning strike, by the way. I will die on that hill. Speaking of which, lightning strike, probably one of the better burn spells in the format. Lightning bolt, I think the last time that was printed in a standard run set was like 2011, core set 11. Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll start here for the Pyromancer. Let's see. Is this gonna be? That's a 3-drop. Ah, that's a 3-drop as well. So whenever you draw your second card each turn, it deals 3 damage to any target. Boy, we are clogging up that 3-drop slot. Let's drop 1 in. Yeah, let's drop 1 in and kind of see. We're back to the sitting on the Ironcrag Pyromancer. I also had thoughts of trying to fit in the Royal Scions, but that's another 3-drop. It's starting to look a little bit awkward here. We'll just go all out here and we'll figure it out. Royal Scions. Sure, heck, why not? At this point, we need to make this smaller because let's see if we can sort this a little bit better. Not ideal, but at least it's not super clogged up at the 3 spot. We're at 27. We probably want some number of some interaction. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, whatever. So we got 4 up. I think 4 Spell Pierces, right? We gotta stop that turn 3 Super Disruptive Planeswalker, turn 2 Oko. I have a feeling that's going to be a common thing. So we're sitting at 35 cards, which is 25 lands. Probably still a bit much considering how much card draw we're having. And we're probably going to have to cut something out of the 3-drop slot. Dictate might be a bit... no, it's Dictate too much. I think that's probably on the chopping block. But let's think about... Ooh, I have an idea. I think we have to have a couple reliquary towers just so we don't end up being ridiculous and having to discard a bunch of cards to hand size. Let's see, blue and red. Oh, I think we do have to have some amount. That's the one. I think a braid is probably pretty good. And so I'm going with Sweltering Suns over Anger of the Gods because it cycles. And because it cycles, it can trigger that's another 3-drop. Oh god, why? It's a double red. I think we gotta... We'll put these in the sideboard real quick. We have 23 drops. That can't be right. That can't be good. So we're at 39 non-lands. That's 21 lands. Do we want a 4-drop of some flavor? So Sweltering Suns is a nice sweeper, I think, because it does 3. Ironcrag Pyromancer is a 0/4. Kefnet doesn't care. We don't have any other... Oh, I guess Keranos could sometimes be a creature, but he's indestructible as well. We don't really care about that 3 damage. but that will ideally wreck some of the smaller creature decks, some of the faster creature decks out of the gate. So I think let's see, what do we want to do against mono red? We've got the Abrades, we've got the lightning strikes. Do we want some number of shock? Or maybe a magma spray? Shock can go to planeswalkers though. Deal 2 damage. Let's just see what's in the format here. I know we're gonna get a lot. Sort by converted mana cost. Aha. I find that interesting. Moto still sorts flip cards or transform cards as though they were 0 CMC, but there's a rule change. I believe back in Shadows, right before they released Shadows or as they were dropping Shadows, that said the transform cards are the converted mana costs that as they are printed on the front. Huh. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. Okay. No, come back. We don't have... Ooh, wait. So I was thinking about Bone Crusher Giant, I think it's the one. I probably should. Well. Galvanic, Fire Drinker, blah, blah, blah. Molten Vortex. Okay, so we've got Magma Spray, Shivan Fire. We got Shock, of course. Soulscar, Wild Slash. Wild Slash is strictly better than Shock, I guess. With Kefnet, we will have Ferocious, which is kind of amusing. And then we're starting to get into the 2 mana deals. I think that's the one we want. I mean, it's a 4/3 for 3 on the creature side. Let's put 4 in. We can take 4 out later. Really, that's a 2-drop, not a 3-drop. I think we just remove all the dictates. I think we're going to be drawing enough cards. We've got Opt, we've got Kefnet, we've got Fevered Visions, we've got Keranos, we've got the Royal Scions as well. Let's see, we probably... it's Ironcrag Pyromancer, too cute. Probably is. So we're at 45. 2 of those are lands. I think we need... Alright, let's cut one of these. I think Spell Pierce is actually going to be really helpful against Narset Rexarday, the War of the Spark Narset. Really kind of ruins our fun. We need to stop her. We need to... Do we need to stop Teferi? 3-drop Teferi? Do we really care? I don't know that we really care about Teferi. I mean, there's a lot of instants in this deck, but I don't know that we need to be playing on our opponent's turn other than to just interact. But we definitely need to stop Oko, and we need to be able to do it turn 2 on the draw, which Spell Pierce is the only card that stops the turn 2 Oko. Because, what, 6? How in the world am I supposed to do 6 damage to a Planeswalker with 1 land, or even 2 lands for that matter? I mean, of course you've got Fry from Corset, I think it was Corset 20. But that only deals 5 damage, that's a sorcery, and it costs 2. Realistically, I think we're looking at Spell Piercing Oko and probably Bolt striking the goose, abrading the goose. Alright, I really do think we need to cut down the number of 3-drops here. Let's see if we can kind of arrange this. Sort. Well, you know what? Fine. Uh-oh. Alright, we need to sort by... Let's see if we can kind of select these 3. That's really a 2-drop. Let's be honest here. So we've got 23 drops. That is probably too many. What can we take out? Royal Scions is so good. Yeah, I'm aware. Keranos seems good. I don't want to get rid of Fevered Visions. I think Sweltering Suns is going to be necessary. So 40, because we have 2 lands, we got 42, that's 18 lands. That's probably not enough. Let's start thinking about lands though. Steam Vents. No, not Cascade. Sulphur Falls, that's the one. And then Spire Bluff. Canal. Looking at it, we're wanting blue on turn 1. But we're a little bit more red heavy with the double red pip in Sweltering Suns. We have a lot of gold cards too. It's kind of nice. I don't think playing Reliquary Tower is too greedy. So let's go basic island. See if we can find one here. 3, 4, and I think basic mountain. 20. It's 22 lands good. I think 22 lands is good. We have a low enough curve here. And I think if we get to Keranos, that's cool. We're going to be drawing a lot of cards. We've got a little bit of filtering here with Opt. We've got... do we have to cut Ironcrag Pyromancer? Or do we cut the Royal Scions? Or do we do a 2-2 split? Or do we start... No, I don't know that we want to start shaving stuff. We start... Actually, we'll throw that crap in the sideboard. That's what we'll do. Move the 4th Sweltering Suns to the sideboard. Let's see. It's kind of a... Do we only go 2 Keranos? I think we go 2 Keranos. He's good. But I think he's a little expensive for what we're trying to do here. So we're down to 62. We need to make 2 more cuts. Do we say... Royal Scions are so good. Both their +1s are good. One of them being draw a card, then discard a card. The other being target creature gets +2/+1 trample and haste. It's so good. Maybe we cut 2 of our Pyromancers. Do we move it to the sideboard? Or do we just remove it? I think we just remove it. I think that looks like a reasonable 60. Yeah, I think that looks like a reasonable 60. So how do we stop... Ooh. The only way I think we stop Marvel and Oko, we're really relying on Spell Pierce. We probably have to mulligan fairly aggressively for the Spell Pierce. Now out of the board, what do we want? I think we've got enough removal for an aggro type matchup. We've got a lot of deal 3s, Lightning Strike, Abrade, Sweltering Suns to kind of sweep the board. Ironcrag Pyromancer blocks pretty well in that matchup, and if we can turn Kefnet on, he blocks forever. Until, of course, we're ready to swing in. I think Mono Red is going to be actually a difficult matchup because they're so good at emptying their hand. But at that point, I think it's Kefnet beats is what we end up winning with there. So out of the board, what do we do? The blue and the red ley line's probably not great. We don't get access to anything. Maybe like a Grafdigger's Cage for that. Yeah. Grafdigger. We'll start there. 1, 2. We'll start with 3. We got that 4th Sweltering Suns in the sideboard. There was an adventure. Oh, there's the... Where's the overload? I think there's an overload. Ah, that's it. I think we might end up going a couple Vandal Blast in the sideboard. Natural State, that'll be good for green decks, but that's not where we are right now. So we got Vandal Blast, Grafdigger's Cage, Sweltering Suns. What do we do about, let's see, Marvel? I think we have to find some number of negate. Hey, come back here. I think some number of negate is correct. So we got 9 in the board. Negate helps against planeswalkers. It helps against the control matchup. Helps against planeswalkers. I don't know if Approach of the Second Sun's going to be a thing. It probably will. Gonna make me thinking that we should have some number. I don't want to go overboard on the counter spells though. Negate is probably fine. What else do we want to combat? We probably need some sort of early interaction. Well, we've got plenty of early interaction for that kind of aggro matchup. Negate covers our bases with between Ceremonious Rejection, kind of Dispel, Disdainful Stroke to an extent. I don't know how we deal with large creatures that have resolved. Maybe we just hope that doesn't happen. Do we just play Unsummon? Maybe that's what we do. Return target creature. We'll just see what we've got there. We don't want... we don't want these transform cards. Chain to the Rocks. That's a thing. Clutch of Current is cool. Kind of like an unsummon. Alright, so now we're talking here. We've got unsummon. Sidici's Faithful. We don't want to be exploiting though, that's the thing. Come here. Oh, are we just crapping out now? There we go. Right. We've got Sidici's Faithful, but I don't think we want to be exploiting. Select for Inspection is great except for things with Vigilance. Unsummon might be the way to go. That's a lot of unsummon. So we need to figure out a way for blue-red to deal with large resolved creatures. And I think the best way would be some sort of a bounce effect. So something like unsummon. That's why I should probably have filtered by blue and red, but you know, whatever. So now we're talking select for inspection. Doesn't hit vigilant creatures. Unsummon is good. Sidici's Faithful, I don't think we want to be exploiting creatures. Now we're getting into CMC 2. Callous Dismissal might be interesting. That puts a creature down. So not only are we getting rid of their biggest creature, but it's a sorcery. Is that too bad? We'll think about that one. There's always Brazen Borrower. I mean, that is basically Disperse that happens to have a 3/1. Yeah, I think that's what we end up doing. It's a little bit better overall answer. I know we're kind of stretching the blue pips, but the one we're interested in only costs 1 and a blue. And then if we ever do cast the actual creature part of that, that's just gravy on top. So we've got big resolved creatures. We've got a Vandal Blast for additional artifact hate in addition to our Abrades. Negates Grafdigger's Cage for that Cocoa deck. Sweltering Suns. What else do we want? What else do we think it's going to be in the format? I think Fevered Visions in Game 1 versus Control is kind of hilarious because Control wants to be drawing a bunch of cards and holding on to all the answers. So Fevered Visions just kind of wrecks them. So what do we do against combo decks? I don't think we can really do anything against combo decks other than Lightning Strike at instant speed. That's about it. Keep up our Spell Pierces. Really the only combo deck in the format, at least for now, is Copycat. Am I just being dumb and thinking that the Delve cards aren't good enough? Oh god. I don't know that we're going to be putting enough cards in the graveyard to make the Delve cards good enough. Oh, I feel like that's a major oversight on my part. Because in my mind, they're banned in basically every other format except, Kamigawa Block Pup or Tiny Leaders or something. So why wouldn't they be banned here? But they're not yet. I guess which one do we want? And how often will we be casting Dig Through Time for 4? It doesn't draw cards, so it doesn't work with Ironcrag Pyromancer, but it works with everything else. Kefnet doesn't care how you get the cards in your hand. Keranos doesn't care about having cards in hand. Royal Scions doesn't care. Their ultimate doesn't care how you get the cards in your hand. I guess, I don't think this is sideboard. I think this is something we go with in the main board. Maybe what we do, we put the Royal Scions in the sideboard. I don't know what we would bring it in for. And I think, is that our 75? That looks like a good rough 75. I think we'll leave it there. So it's obviously going to need some tweaking. I think, at least I like the mana base. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like it. I don't know that you're going to go and win a Pro Tour with this, but you could definitely jinx some people out at Friday Night Magic. Yeah, I think I like this. I think I'll try putting this together and seeing how it does. We'll have to see how many Pioneer events start showing up in paper. But yeah, I think this is a good 75. It's a good start, at least, on a 75. And so with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. Maybe I'll try and figure out another brew in Pioneer. But until then, this has been Brian, and go follow us on the social medias. And like and subscribe. We'll probably got a couple more deck techs out there for what we think is going to be good in Pioneer. And, give those a watch. Let us know what you think. Give us an email, comment down below, see, what did I miss? I'm sure I missed something. So until next time, see ya.